curling fans. Welcome to the Nutana Curling Club here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. John Cullen here with you for the opening draw of the SGI Best of the West. It's Manitoba 1, Mackenzie Zacharias facing off against Saskatchewan 1, Courtney Fesser. Should be a great game to kick off the tournament here. You're watching live on the Curling Canada and Curling Zone YouTube pages. We'll have the coverage here for you all weekend long. As we get set for the first end here, Zacharias will be starting with hammer. We get a look at Courtney Fesser there heading down the ice as Kaylin Skinner gets ready to throw her first rock of the game. It was actually Skinner's draw that came up a little short of the house, which is what gave Zacharias the hammer here to start. Of course, this is a brand new tournament on the World Curling Tour this year. For those of you unfamiliar, the Best of the West is a U30 tournament. So every curler in this event is under the age of 30. And so we see that affects some of the lineups here this weekend. Those of you who are familiar with Saskatchewan curling may recognize most of the Fesser rink from playing with Ashley Howard this year. But of course, Ashley is over the golden age. So they've brought in Carly Korchinski to fill in for her at the second spot. So we get a look here at Lauren Lenentine for Team Zacharias.
Line's good.
Out of the Altona Curling Club in Winnipeg.
Looks like it's coming off. Big time curling now. Hard up. Right here. Gonna have to easy. Okay, 16-2. Good.
So we'll get a second look at Kaylin Skinner here, and we'll meet the Team Saskatchewan 1, Courtney Fesser. You can see standing in the house there is the skip, her sister Krista Fesser at third, Carly Korchinski at second. Carly, of course, spent the year playing with Amber Holland, and Kaylin Skinner is at lead. And Skinner will get that into the house, so we'll see Mackenzie Zacharias chase after that. Zacharias, one of the complete teams in the field for this Best of the West. As I said, a lot of these teams do play with older players, so they've had to rejig the lineup a little bit. But Team Zacharias, with their squad that they played with all year, Lauren Lenentine at lead, who we get a look at there. Emily Zacharias at second, Carly Burgess at third, and Mackenzie Zacharias is the skip. Of course, these four women will be joining Jennifer Jones next season out of Manitoba. As Caitlin Laws moves on to skipping, and Jennifer reached out to these four ladies and asked them to play on a 5-person team with her, and so should be a fun squad for next year. Get our first look here at Carly Korchinski. Gonna try and get rid of this red stone and perhaps try and keep this first end a little bit open. And that over curls a little bit, so it does get close to that corner guard. And opportunity now maybe for Emily Zacharias to get a hit and roll behind that corner.
Should curly for you.
And won't quite get the roll, but we're seeing early on the TV sheet here has quite a bit of curl. Talking to the curlers before the event, they were saying that they were, which we'll see later on, of course, but they're taking about edge of 12 for draw weight. So curling a lot, and we're even seeing that on hits here as these sort of control weight hits that we're seeing from Korchinski and Zacharias are moving quite a bit off that center line. I'm sure Korchinski would love to roll away a little bit here, and she does. That's still an opportunity here again for Zacharias to get something set up around that corner guard. And that will overroll just a little bit, but not an easy chase here for Courtney Fesser. So they are going to go after it here with Krista Fesser's first. A little bit tricky out here. Saw this in practice, getting the draws just out into this wing area. It's a little bit frosty out there still, so we'll have to see how the Fesser team manages it. They get it by that corner guard. Will it stay in the house? It will not. So opportunity here now for Zacharias to use that corner guard. They threw all the way back on their first stone.
I was thinking, yeah, 14.
Our first look at Carly Burgess here trying to come around the corner guard. So this is a quick tournament. It's Friday here. This tournament will be over by Saturday. The teams, 8 teams on both sides for men and women, and then there's also same gender doubles as well happening at the same time. And so the women's tournament has 8 teams divided into 2 pools of 4, so you play everybody in your pool one time. Top 2 teams advance to the semifinals, and the teams will eventually get to the final where they're playing off for a $10,000 first place prize. So a lot of money here at stake for these teams. Be a nice way to cap the season for a lot of these younger players, particularly who maybe haven't played in too many tournaments with a prize that big. So Krista Fesser going to have to repeat the feat here, get around this corner guard. And this is a lot tighter to that corner guard. Not an easy shot. But she makes no mistake. So a nice pair from Krista Fesser, keeping Saskatchewan 1 out of trouble, but another opportunity here for Carly Burgess to get around this corner.
I gave you here. I only like 3 feet more in this path. Line's good. Go ahead. Line's fine. M's first. M first. If you can, M hard. 3. Yeah, hard then, hard.
Trying to get it into the paint here. Sweeper's indicating it's a little short.
Go, 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 go,
Does it have the juice to get there?
Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It does. So just barely hanging on to the rings here, and I'm not sure how much Courtney Fesser can see of that. She might be forced to draw here.
Throw more.
And indeed she is. I'm positioned right behind the sheet, and I can tell you there's not a lot of room to see that red stone there. And the problem here too for Fesser is that even if you did get around that guard and hit that red out, Mackenzie Zacharias has exactly the same shot and might even be able to bury it better, and then you're almost certainly giving up 2. So I like this call here from Courtney. Teams are playing 8 ends in this event as well, not a 10-end event, so they'll obviously be looking to get to it early, and they have here in this first end. So first stone here for skip Courtney Fesser. Zacharias sitting one with hammer. And this is curling an awful lot. Can they get it by that red in the house? They cannot, but they do roll in for shot stone, so Mackenzie Zacharias will likely have to make a play at it.
Oh, you have like 2/3.
Okay.
Trying to roll big.
You like 10? You're like 10 and a half.
Oh, I like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you thinking 9 and a half?
I like 10.
I like 10.
Yeah.
I was giving here for 9 and a half for the
Okay.
roll. It's like
The roll
there.
this way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I like
Like
it.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, 10. Big roll. Yeah, it should curl.
So you hear there from Mackenzie Zacharias, would love to roll big here. She can see almost all of this yellow stone from the hack, so she can get rid of it and roll to the opposite side of the house. It'll be set up for a nice 2 here.
Yeah, it feels fast, right? Okay.
So first stone here in the first for Mackenzie Zacharias. Has a chance to hit and lie 2. Emily Zacharias picking it up right away.
Hard, yeah,
Gotta go.
hard roll, hard
By the
roll.
guard, they'd love to get a roll here. And is that enough to stay on the rings? That's the question here.
I just kept the ice. Okay.
I think it's on.
Throw.
Sorry, it just looked like so much.
Tough to tell exactly from our angle, but seemed like it was on the rings. And this is tricky now here for Courtney because she's going to have to play a turn she hasn't played yet to get by this guard. Krista asking Courtney if she liked it, and she said, well. And that sums up my feelings too. It's not an easy shot here. She's got to play the out turn coming off the center line, which curls a lot. She's got to miss the center guard and still get that red out. And she's trying to get maybe a bit of a roll inside to make Mackenzie Zacharias' shot for 2 tough. So it's not easy, that's for sure. Priority 1, just getting rid of it. You can't give up 3 here. So just want to make sure you get rid of that red stone. So final stone here for Courtney Fesser in the first. And this is curling a lot. Do they have enough to get a piece of it? They do. Just barely. A good sweep there from Carly Korchinski to keep it off those side boards, but it'll be an open draw for 2 for Mackenzie Zacharias here in the first.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it looks in on the screen.
Could hear Mackenzie Zacharias saying that she is using our TV screen out here on the ice. We've got a big TV display out on the ice for the fans who will eventually be filling this lounge area when it's not 8:48 a.m.
14?
And she used the TV screen to say that it looks in, so I'm sure they'll put a biter stick on it, but I do agree with Mackenzie looking at the same angle as her that it's in. So final stone just needs to hit paint here. Does Mackenzie Zacharias in the first.
Felt close to draw to the button.
Really tight line.
Curling!
Zacharias and Burgess are on this, but it'll be just fine. So no measuring stick needed. The Fesser sisters agree that that's on the ring, so it will be a first and 2 for Mackenzie Zacharias. And we'll have our first look at Saskatchewan with the hammer when we come back. You're watching the SGI Best of the West.
Yeah. I think we just need more ice. Is that correct?
Welcome back, curling fans. Second end coverage here of the SGI Best of the West from the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. John Cullen with you as we watch this opening draw between Manitoba 1 and Saskatchewan 1. And it was Manitoba getting off to a hot start, putting up 2 in the first end with Hammer. So we'll see if the Fesser sisters and their team can get things back on track. Of course, Nutana is their home club, so we'll see if that home ice advantage plays for them. I was talking to them just before this draw started, and they said that Zacharias won the toss and took rocks, and they were not prepared to do the same thing, so they were wondering what Mackenzie Zacharias knew that they didn't, and they curl here. But paid off early, obviously, for Zacharias and her squad. Zacharias, of course, the top-ranked ladies team in this Best of the West event. They're currently ranked 13th in the world, and by virtue of that ranking, just made their first appearance at the Grand Slam of Curling last week at the Players' Championship in Toronto. They missed the playoffs there, but nice for them to get a slam so early in their career.
13-4.
And as we said earlier, the
That's fine, Lauren.
Fesser sisters and Kaylin Skinner, their lead, played this season with Ashley Howard, and they are currently ranked 49th in the world. So maybe a little bit of a mismatch on paper here, but certainly a great curling resume on both sides of the sheet. Former Saskatchewan junior champions, all 4 of them. And Courtney, Krista, and Carly played with Sherry Anderson in the 2018 Scotties, where they just barely missed the playoffs. So a great team in their own right. So a little deep from Kaylin Skinner, but not a bad setup if you're Saskatchewan here. And Zacharias continuing to play aggressive here, going to ignore the play around the corner guard and come around the center here. And nice weight from Emily Zacharias, but just doesn't quite get the finish that she was probably hoping for. So an opportunity here for Fesser. I'm sure they're happy to bring the play into the house here. Zacharias had made that draw perfectly. They were likely running back, so opportunity here for Carly Korchinski. Might be able to make a double to lie 2, but just trying to get rid of the rock in the forefoot and roll away. That's the first priority. That's the type of yelling you can only get from siblings.
Yeah, I like 9.5.
Courtney kept saying, whoa. Krista felt like she had to be sweeping it. They had a fun little exchange in the house there.
I like it. I got it.
So hit to lie 2 here for Emily Zacharias.
Carly for anything hard. Hard on this.
And she'll get rid of it, but not stick around. So once again, an opportunity here for Team Saskatchewan. So you could hear there, Carly was saying she doesn't have any of the rock from the hack, so she was maybe a little bit concerned about playing this, but Courtney said if she even clips the top red one and rolls behind the corner guard, that's okay too. So just looking to play just through the house weight here. But this is really curling. It's okay to just tick this guard, but you don't want to raise it into the house. This is going to come right to the nose of that red one. Wow, did that ever take off? It really curls towards the middle, and looked like Carly Korchinski might have got that one started a little bit, but that over curls a ton, and it's Zacharias lying one without hammer here. Would love this above the tee line, but it will slide a little deep, so.
Okay. Oh, what's that, Mom? 13 and a half.
Saskatchewan, once again, another opportunity here. This Zacharias team not as sharp in this end as they were in the first. So opportunities once again here for
Time in the field is not close.
Courtney Fesser. Chance for Krista Fesser to make the double here and lie two. And this is curling a lot too.
That's what we saw.
So doesn't make the double and doesn't stick around. So another chance here for the Zacharias rink to really apply some pressure here.
Yeah, 6 feet last.
Neither team able to really make that shot that tips the end in their favor so far.
Don't touch it. Not. I know. Good, Car.
And there it is. So took until the second, third stone, but Carly Burgess makes that perfect draw, and it is Zacharias lying two without hammer.
Yeah, but even if you clip the top, it's hard to put a perfect guard. See, which one am I going for? Take this one. This one, top? Yeah.
So it's a similar shot to what we saw from Carly Korchinski a couple shots ago. And same sort of pro side miss that Courtney Fesser was talking about before, that if you clip the top guard and roll in, it's not a bad result either. But of course, ideally, they'd love to get around the guard and get this red one off the button. Sweepers on it early. This is getting very close to the guard. And that's a great shot from Krista Fesser. Unfortunately, it won't hang around, but gets that rock off the button. So it's still Zacharias lying one without hammer here in the second and leading by two.
Pick that 14-6 again. That's going to be heavy, or that's going to be okay? Okay.
So Mackenzie Zacharias just looking to repeat what Carly Burgess did with her last one.
A lot of room.
Line's fine, line's fine.
Line's good.
Trying to get around this center guard.
Good.
Line's good.
Line's
Stay
good.
close.
M's rock, M's
Stay
rock.
close for line.
Only M, only
Always
M's.
M's.
For line.
No.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sit.
And she will make no mistake. Right on the tee line, right on the button.
Sit.
And so it's still Zacharias lying 2 without hammer here in the second. So just discussing exactly where to put the broom here. From where I'm standing, it actually looks like this rock is in a slightly better position than Carly Burgess's. They're showing a little bit less on this side. So Courtney said she's going to try to throw hack here. So first stone here for Courtney Fesser. Facing 2, down 2. Needs a good one here. Certainly a little bit more than hack weight here. Really nice shot though from Courtney Fesser. And for the first time this end, it is Saskatchewan lying 1.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
I think it'll be close.
Yeah. 10?
We were supposed to tell you
I
guys
think
close
so.
your mics.
There's a, like, it looks like it's curling a lot, but it's also like, it
Sorry.
looks like it might be on the guard halfway down, but then it kind of stops. Careless!
So the key here for Mackenzie Zacharias is she just needs to be sitting 2 somewhere. And that would force Courtney Fesser into either a hit or a draw for 1. Final stone here, Mackenzie Zacharias.
Yeah.
Whoa, clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Clean it.
Oh!
M.
Hard M!
Gotta go, M.
Hard M!
Can't jam it.
Go! Ah.
They do jam it. They avoid the worst case scenario with the jam. There's no chance for 3 here for Courtney Fesser, but it is an open hit for 2. Just looked like with maybe that little bit more weight from Mackenzie Zacharias, it just held a little bit straighter than they were anticipating. So it took a whole end of grinding, but Courtney Fesser will have a chance to tie this game up. Final stone, Courtney Fesser, open hit 4-2 to tie this game up. And this is really curling. Will they even get it out for 1? They do, but it will overroll, and so missed opportunity there for Saskatchewan 1, but they will get 1 point back. But Zacharias will take a 2-1 lead and the hammer into the third. You're watching the SGI Best of the West.
Our roots might be simple, but our methods are far from it. Canadian dairy farmers proudly meet some of the most stringent standards in the world, including the 42 food safety requirements set by our national quality program. We do it by working hard and by ensuring that every cow is monitored every day so that we can bring you high-quality milk. High Canadian standards. That's dairy farming forward.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Good look at the Nutana Curling Club here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Home of the very first SGI Best of the West. John Cullen with you here on the Curling Canada and Curling Zone YouTube pages for this opening draw battle between Manitoba 1, Mackenzie Zacharias, and Saskatchewan 1, Courtney Fesser. And the last end was a bit of a case of neither team really being able to assert themselves on the end. There were chances both ways, and in the end it was Courtney Fesser who did have an open hit for 2, but unfortunately rolled out and was only able to take the 1. So it's Mackenzie Zacharias leading here in the third by a point and with the hammer. And Kaylin Skinner slips her first one into the house, so Zacharias with the lead in the hammer, not going to be too afraid to chase it here.
Nice shot.
And Lauren Lenentine makes no mistake, so we'll see if Fesser chases that. And she will, so maybe heading for a blank here, although it's possible, depending on where this rock ends up, that Zacharias might throw a corner guard with her next one. Well, Kaylin Skinner rolled out there, so now Zacharias has the option to corner if she wants, and she will.
I just won't be live. They'll probably feel it.
Mine's good.
Oh, that's there.
Okay. Starting to go now. Okay. That's fine. Just right here. Just clean.
And it will slide just a little far. So where I thought we might get a non-blank here, we unfortunately might be taking a trip to Blanksville.
Just want to roll it right over. Good.
And Carly Korchinski makes no mistake.
Clean, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean, clean, yeah, 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 yeah. Good. 10.
Keep fluctuating in temperature.
I know, I'm getting cold now too.
I feel like I get cold because I.
We're getting a good body temperature update there from Lauren Lenentine on the mic. It's always tough when Lauren's not the third, but she does hold the broom for Mackenzie Zacharias, and it's always a tough go in curling clubs because you sweep some of the rocks, but then you stay stationary for 4 rocks in a row. And so it's a constant battle of, do I wear my jacket? Do I wear my shirt? I used to know this guy in university. I went to the University of British Columbia, so, you know, BC, a bit more of a mild province. But he wore like a Hawaiian shirt and shorts every single day to class, even if it was like -10 out, if it was pouring rain.
10-4.
And I remember asking him one day, I said, you know, what's with the, you know, you wear a t-shirt and shorts every day, what's the deal with that? And he said, cold is all in your mind. So I wonder what he's up to now. It was like 15 years ago. I hope wherever he is, his temperature's controlled. He feels good. Maybe he could give Lauren some tips, and then she wouldn't have to be unsure about whether to wear the jacket or the shirt.
Whoa! 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 Good, Chris.
Clean.
Wait.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lauren, now, yep, yep, yep. 10-2. Nice throw.
So that will roll out. This will give Fesser an opportunity to put a center guard up. I mean, I think the risk you run here, this is why they're talking about it. If you put the center guard up, there is a possibility Mackenzie Zacharias just comes around it. But unlikely. They're up 1 with hammer. It's probably more likely that they peel. So I like this call. Just throw up the center guard, see what happens. And if they do decide to come around and they don't make it, then an opportunity potentially for a steal. So Krista Fesser just looking to put up a center guard here.
Yeah, it looks like it's tracking. Really running.
8. Yeah. Kind of that line that. Okay, Chris. Yeah.
It's been a little while. I don't think Krista Fesser actually has thrown a draw in this game, so can see there just maybe not super dialed into draw weight yet. I know in talking with the curlers before this game, they were saying that they felt in practice yesterday the TV sheet was a little heavier, that the other sheets were playing about 14.5 to 15 hog to hog, and the TV sheet was actually almost a full second slower. And so they saw that a little bit in warm-up as well. It was a little bit slow in warm-up, and so I think the teams, Krista, you know, hasn't thrown a draw since that warm-up, since that practice.
Should be there.
Maybe still feeling like it's a little bit heavy, but we've seen here for multiple draws, it's now settled into that 14.5, 15 range hog to hog, so likely that's what's happened there.
13-7 on theirs. That was good.
Yeah, that happened or anything. So
Yeah.
we thought it
Well, there we go. Mackenzie Zacharias filling us in 13-7 on the one that went through the house, so that gives you a good sense of where we're at. About 14-5 to T-line probably. Ice has a lot of curl. The rocks were sharpened before this event, so we're seeing that kind of edge of 12 for draw. And
Carly just threw a 13-5. So, yeah. Yeah. Hey.
so first stone here for Courtney Fesser. Just looking for an open hit to keep the blank intact. This is floating though. Should finish enough to get it out, and it does. even with that hit weight, the Rocks are finishing pretty good.
I think that's fine. All right, this tee. Yeah, it'd be nice to be higher. Or actually go right, I think to the back again if we can get a roll out. Or high, one or the other. I'd rather be closer to the edge. I just feel like we know it's gonna stay straight. Like if I throw my last one there. It's a big. Okay.
So a good chance here for Mackenzie Zacharias to check in on draw weight for herself.
Mine's good.
You always love that as a skip when you have these open draws and a chance to just get that draw weight under your belt, get it feeling good.
Mine's good. Mine's good.
So I had that one at about 14 exactly, hog to hog. And it's pretty much right on the tee line. So that's about where we're at, 14 to 14.5.
It runs for so long, but it curls
So much. It doesn't like it does exactly what it did on that side.
Yeah. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Very consistent. 14.3.
So after a first couple ends where the teams mixed it up a little bit, it's a chance here for Courtney Fesser to get rid of this one and
I kind of
force Zacharias into the blank. She'd obviously love to stick around here, so that Mackenzie has to actually make a shot for the blank. But this is following a similar path to her first one. And indeed it rolls out. So Mackenzie Zacharias will have a chance to throw it through the house and put a blank on the board. And with the lead in the hammer, she'll be more than happy to prolong this game.
Ken? Let's do it this way. Yeah.
And Max Zach will make no mistake, puts it through the house. So we'll put a couple zeros up on the board. Zacharias will keep a 1-point lead and the hammer into the fourth end. You're watching the SGI Best of the West live from Saskatoon.
Be simple, but our methods are far from it. Canadian dairy farmers proudly meet some of the most stringent standards in the world, including the 42 food safety requirements set by our national quality program. We do it by working hard and by ensuring that every cow is monitored every day so that we can bring you high quality milk. High Canadian standards. That's dairy farming forward.
Hello folks, welcome back to continuing coverage of the SGI Best of the West. John Cullen here with you. Cheers to wherever you're joining us from here on either the Curling Canada or Curling Zone YouTube pages. We'll be here with you streaming the action all weekend long. And if you're in Saskatoon, maybe come down to the Nutana and check out some excellent under 30 curling action. In our feature game this morning, it's Team Zacharias, Manitoba 1, currently leading Team Saskatchewan 1, Team Fesser, by a point, 2-1. And Zacharias has the hammer as well. So we get a look here at Kaylin Skinner, looking to draw around these couple guards out front. Kaylin and the Fesser sisters played with Ashley Howard this year in Saskatchewan. Bit of an up and down season. They played 6 events, qualifying in 3 of them and not qualifying in 3 others. They were in the pre-trials direct entry event where they went 2 and 3. And unfortunately, they lost the Saskatchewan Scotties last chance, so they did not compete at the Saskatchewan Scotties this year. But as we said before, all 4 of these team members, previous Saskatchewan Scotties champions. Courtney and Krista also winning the 2017 Saskatchewan Mixed with Brady Sharback, who we'll see later this weekend. He's skipping one of the Saskatchewan teams in this event. And Carly Korchinski filling in at second for this Saskatchewan team. She played with Amber Holland this year. They had a bit more success at the ladies level this season, coming 3rd at the Saskatchewan Scotties.
Running like it's up. Okay.
Of course, all of these curlers in a little bit of a blender in Saskatchewan this year. As Courtney's announced she's taking a step back from the game. Kaylin is currently a free agent, and Carly, who was playing with Amber Holland, unsure where she's going next year as well. So maybe I'll ask them after the game. They can give me the inside scoop. So a good setup here for Fesser early. Lauren Lenentine sliding her draw through the house. So Fesser sitting 1, looking to sit a second here, Carly Korchinski, but she's got to get by this top yellow, and she won't. But still have that 1 yellow buried there with hammer. Obviously a little tricky when you're playing with a lineup for the first time. Of course, bringing Carly back into the fold. And then Courtney and Krista moving up a position from where they played this year. Taking a little bit maybe to get into the game compared with Mackenzie Zacharias, who of course have played all of the last 2.5 seasons together, if we're counting 2020 as a half year.
I would rather, like, this is a double guard on this right now. I'd rather clean it up a bit.
We're not
like right here. Because, like, this is a good stone for us.
What's the call?
Rip it into here and try to roll it in.
That looks like a sliver. Okay, right on.
So maybe a little divisiveness there. Mackenzie Zacharias wanting to peel. It seemed like the front end maybe wanting to draw around the pile, but as is often the case, the skip wins out here. Emily Zacharias makes no mistake, gets rid of the 2 yellows. But it is still Fesser sitting the 1. You can usually feel confident when you're the skip that you've made the right call when the other team replaces the rock you just got rid of, particularly when you're peeling guards. So even if Mackenzie had a moment of feeling like maybe she was wrong compared to the front end, she won't now that the Fesser rink is replacing this stone here up front. And a nice shot from Carly Korchinski.
Back eat. Yeah, try to push it a little farther.
Yeah, we have a lot of room to roll. Got it.
So Mackenzie just asking Emily here to come around that high center guard and split off that red into the house. They won't get shot stone, but they'll expose the shot stone while also potentially lying second and third shot. We see a lot of the top teams use this strategy more these days as a means of trying to generate offense in the days of the 5 rock rule.
Get off, Lauren! Off! Not even close. Hard car for... No, you're not even close. Gotta go around.
We're there.
13-3.
And Emily Zacharias goes around everything. Looked like it was pretty close to the right weight, maybe a little bit heavier than Mackenzie was expecting, but not by much. So opening draw of the tournament, teams just maybe trying to figure out the ice a little bit here. So Fesser looking pretty good without Hammer here. Sitting one behind 2 guards and a chance for Krista Fesser to put another one in there. They need this one to get off the corner.
Yeah, curl. Go, Kaylin. Shooter. Okay, Chris.
Yeah, it's not a bad plan B. Another guard on top.
We're losing ours then. You can try and bring back. Yeah, you can play this. If you clip ours, that's fine. Then it's open on the next. I like that.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I was seeing it, but if you like the top one, go top.
So Carly's going to come down and take a look. They were talking about maybe running the yellow one into the house to try and double off the yellow that's in the house.
Okay.
I like the top.
That one's not really
I
hurting
should
us
put it
though.
back. Like, you always have the red one. Or she keeps around the red
split?
one goes into both of them.
I don't mind. Like, this isn't a bad shot either, because if you do take this out, it's not the end of the world. I'm okay with that. I think we just gotta like open it up, make a shot. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It should curl here. M's one. I like 8.
So Carly's concern was that she couldn't see a lot of the rock from the hack, so she wasn't sure that she could actually make the shot that Mackenzie Zacharias was calling, which is to double off the yellow in the house. And there's maybe a little concern that they don't want to necessarily lose that red that's just outside the rings, because it's in such a nice position for them to potentially split. But I think ultimately they've decided if they lose that red, it's okay. And if this curls enough to get the one in the house, but looks like, oh, wow, they got it by. Oh, I didn't even think you could do that. So Burgess runs it by everything, and it's still Fesser sitting one, and now it's behind a veritable wall of granite.
Full 4. I think they like being behind it. If you're in front, they've got the run double. Same ice?
So this is the first end we've really seen Fesser in control, and they've been in control from the start. That Kaylin Skinner-Stone has been causing all kinds of trouble for Mackenzie Zacharias, so a real chance here for Krista Fesser. If she can get around everything and lie too, it's going to be tough sledding for Mac Zach in the attack.
Line's good. Line's perfect. Gotta curl an inch. Okay, well then, gotta curl. Gotta curl. Coming down. It's really trying here. Woo, chap off. Nice. Really good. Good catch.
Very nice shot from Krista Fesser. And so now it is Saskatchewan lying 2 without Hammer.
Like 9. Okay.
Yeah. Good at it.
So Carly doesn't get either of the yellows in the house, but does get rid of both of the reds. But we're into skip stones, and still Fesser line 2 without hammer. So I think they're just deciding whether they want to put the rock in the house or guard. Unfortunately, we don't have the Fessers mic'd up, so just trying to guess from what I'm picking up from the ice mics here, but seems to be what they're discussing here. Certainly they'd never want to come deep no matter what, so even if they're in the house, they'd want to be in the top 12. Probably one of those you leave to your sweepers. If you're a little in front of the house, it's not so bad, but if your line is good, you get the sweepers to bring it into the top 12 and lie 3.
And then we have the force. Yeah. Like
Yeah, I got 14 and a half on Krista. So I was thinking like 15, 15, 5. Okay. If we come up light,
like if
okay, draw.
So first stone here for Courtney Fesser in the 4th end. They're down 1, but looking very good without the hammer. Oh, this is certainly deeper than where they wanted this. Actually didn't end up in a horrible spot for them.
pretty close to overlap.
Sorry.
It's so weight sensitive and fast sensitive.
Yeah.
I think
Do you like 9.5?
If you grabbed
like
the
10?
curl, it would have been fine.
Okay.
If they were just beside it, it would have been a pretty easy double for Mackenzie, so didn't end up in a horrible spot, but Zacharias will still have a chance to make a double and lie 1 here.
Yeah. I think it should be okay for the first bit because it might stay a little bit straighter this way.
So first rock here for Mackenzie Zacharias in the 4th end. Sweepers on it right away. Got to get by this top one. They do. But it just won't quite curl enough to get both yellows, but they are shot stone here.
We'll just go like this.
Good weight.
Okay? Sorry. Even if you pick it, it's fine. She has slash first. Like, I'd rather her play that. Do you like...
So if you're Fesser, you're maybe a little bit disappointed that you didn't have a chance to put yourself in a good stealing position here, as most of the end they were looking pretty sharp for a steal, but at the same point, got a great chance to force Zacharias to 1 here and to make her last shot facing 3. So we heard Krista say, even if you pick this out, it's not a terrible scenario.
Heels for curling. Yes. Holy Toledos. Guys, back end with Krista is an adventure down there. It's like, I like whatever you like, and you want to throw. Yeah. I'm going to throw, like...
I never curled with my sister, but I imagine that's what it would be like too.
This will curl.
So here we go, final stone for Courtney Fesser. Just needs to get rid of the red shot stone. Would love to stick around. Just do not want to jam it. That's the only thing you can't do here. And she does not. Perfect shot from Courtney Fesser right through the hole. And so Zacharias is going to have to make a shot against 3 here.
I hit
That's
and
kinda
stuck.
tough, though.
Yeah.
Oh, the 8. No, then I like the draw. I was thinking. I think I like the draw. Here?
So big shot here. Mackenzie Zacharias is going to draw against 3 and needs full forefoot to outcount 2 of them. So not easy. She hasn't thrown a draw to the middle in a couple ends. She did get to throw a draw last end, but it was to the wing. So a little bit of a different feel here.
Sorry, 14 and a half? Okay.
And certainly against 3, not easy. So biggest shot of the game so far. Mackenzie Zacharias up 1 and needs full forefoot, facing 3.
Line's good.
No, I think it's up, guys.
Line's nice.
Okay, go ahead.
Running right now.
Line's good.
Running.
No.
This needs to curl.
No line.
This really needs to curl.
Yeah.
And it will. Sometimes you just have to have faith. A nice little tip call from Lauren Lenentine, and it slides into the button. So a big end saver from Mackenzie Zacharias. They'll take a 2-point lead into the 5th. But the Fessers will have the hammer when we come back. We're going to have a little 4th end break, and we'll be back after that.
Our roots might be simple, but our methods are far from it. Canadian dairy farmers proudly meet some of the most stringent standards. Our roots might be simple, but our methods are far from it. Canadian dairy farmers proudly meet some of the most stringent standards in the world, including the 42 food safety requirements set by our national quality program. We do it by working hard and by ensuring that every cow is monitored every day so that we can bring you high quality milk. High Canadian standards. That's dairy farming forward.
Hi, I'm Mike Squires, and I invite you to come down to SMP and see why we're Saskatchewan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. We've been serving Saskatoon and surrounding areas for over 50 years. With over 400 new and used vehicles on the lot, SMP will have the vehicle you're looking for. We also have an amazing staff with hundreds of years of combined experience in sales, service, collision repair to help you with all your automotive needs. Come visit us at 715 Circle Drive East or online at smpchev.ca.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to continuing coverage of the SGI Best of the West. John Cullen with you once again as we are watching this game between Saskatchewan 1 and Manitoba 1, and we head into the second half of the game here with a huge shot from Mackenzie Zacharias to finish off the 4th end, managing to squeeze in between 3 Fesser stones and score 1. So it is Zacharias up 2, but Saskatchewan will have the hammer. And speaking of Saskatchewan, I've got a Saskatchewan curler joining me on the mic now. He is in this event playing for Brady Sharback, and one of the organizers of the event, Dustin McCush, is here. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, John. How's it going?
It's going great, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to some great curling action here this weekend.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's already been great, and it's so early in in the morning. You know, you never know with an 8:30 a.m. draw how good the game's going to be, but this has been a pretty good one so far.
Yeah, the feature's been excellent so far. Some great shot making here early this Friday morning.
14 and a half.
And so Lauren Lenentine gets that draw, and you could hear her say finally. She has been struggling a little bit with that draw weight, but gets that one perfectly behind the center guard. So we might have a little bit of action here in this fifth.
Yeah, both those rocks lined up perfectly right on the center line above T line. Excellent placement from Lauren.
So as we said earlier, this is an 8-team event on both the women's and men's side. The top 4 advancing to the playoffs, the top 2 in each pool. And they're playing for a top prize of $10,000, which is slightly more than I will make for commentating this weekend.
Just a little.
Just a little bit more, yeah. Yeah, Dustin, what's going on with Team Sharback? I know it's been a bit of a, you know, that it's not their exact team. You're filling in for Sean Meacham, but you're not skipping. You're playing second. Brady moving up to skip. Have you guys practiced at all? Have you talked about this? Because we're seeing that here with the Fesser rink. You know, they're bringing in Carly Korchinski at second to fill in for their skip, and talk a little bit about what that's been like. Have you guys practiced or talked about it, or is it just kind of we're showing up and we're going?
Yeah, we practiced a little bit before these last few days here in Saskatoon. The other guys, they're from here in Saskatoon, and the other 3 have been curling together all year, and for a few years now they've been playing men's together, so they're super familiar with each other. And yeah, filling in at second, which is the position I play on my men's team during the year. So looking forward to getting underway here in a couple hours.
Absolutely. Who do you guys play first?
We have Tyler Tardy up first.
Oh, my
Your
sons. Yeah, my beautiful sons. Yeah, this is the last time we'll see my family all together. It's gonna be bittersweet for all of us, but yeah, no, that'll be a great game.
For sure, the big Team Cooey announcement this morning with Tyler joining up with Kevin and Brad and Karik. Headed out to Alberta.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that team was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
No one was really talking about it at all, so wasn't sure. So nice setup here for Mackenzie Zacharias. Unfortunately, Carly Korchinski only removing her own stone and not getting rid of the red guard. So it's Zacharias sitting 3 here all around the center line. And so it will be Zacharias sitting 4 in the old Linda Moore control zone out front of the house there. Getting a little bit scary here if you're Saskatchewan.
Yeah, definitely need to get a few rocks moving here, open it up a little bit. Maybe create potential for a blank, maybe.
This is where we need the Dustin McCush laser right here.
Yeah, you need absolute laser weight. That's right, right down, yep.
Is that what you call it? What do you call it when you throw like the most weight possible? I feel like every team kind of has a different name for it.
Yeah, rocket probably.
Rocket.
Probably
okay.
a rocket, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, how about you?
My team, we used to, well, it was different. When I played with Dean Jonice for the last 4 years of my career, we started out by calling control weight chill. And so then we had different weights. So starting with chill, all of our weights were related to like cold things.
Yeah.
So like normal was fridge, and then peel was blizzard.
So, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
We would call it blizzard weight.
I feel like BC teams in general have very unique, cool weight calls.
Well, and look, I'm not here to say that we were the originators of it, but We were the originators of it. My sons,
your sons kind of took over.
My sons took over.
They
Yeah,
learned,
they copied
from
it.
the best.
They copied it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Straight
okay.
copy, but that's okay. It's, you know what? Like I let them away with it when they were kids, and then when they grew up, it starts to be a little bit of a money thing, and so the Tardy family has been paying us trademark fees.
Okay, good. That's
so it's
critical.
all settled. It's not a bit, it's all
Critical.
good. Well, theirs are funny too because they won't see. We never had any. People would be like, "Oh, what's chill? What's fridge?" We were not. It wasn't a secret.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to guard anything.
Right.
We would just say. We'd tell people what it was. But my sons they won't tell you.
No.
And they
no
make,
idea what fresh is. Who knows what fresh is?
Pew. They make all these. They'll say, and I'll guess on the broadcast. They'll be like, "Oh, it's this and this," and then I get texts from Tyler. It's not that. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, Tyler. I've watched you play for 10 years. I think I have a pretty good idea." Oh, and they've got mint and Pew, and oh man, it's just wild. So. But obviously we love it. I feel like every team should do it. It's just like a fun thing to do. You sit down, you make up fun names for weights.
Yeah, normal and control, too boring.
Too boring. Way too irregular. Yeah. What is that? My least favorite kind of chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
maybe they need to go by chip flavors. That'll really throw them for a spin.
See, there we go.
Like, what's the salt and vinegar?
That's what I'm talking about. I think in this case, your huge peel would have to be all dressed, right?
Right.
Because it's all the flavors combined.
Right. Or like sweet chili heat would be like.
I like that.
Super hard peel.
Yeah, like a hard normal.
Yeah.
Oh, I like. See, we're onto something here.
Definitely onto something.
I love that. Yeah, it's good too. Like it sounds silly, but it actually makes a difference when you're calling the weights down,
right?
Because it's different from what everyone else is saying around you, right? So
true. Very true.
It does actually make a difference, I think.
Very true. And
anyway,
and if every team has their own unique weight call, then you're never gonna know really. There'd be way too many.
Exactly. So you heard it here first.
Yep.
John and Dustin are telling you.
Get your chip flavor weight calls.
Chip flavors.
Get ready.
Get in there. Exactly.
Sorry, I just couldn't hear anything.
We didn't think we could go for the watch.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So a nice shot on the last one from Krista Fesser. Moved all the play off of the center, which is what you want if you're the team with the hammer. So it is an opportunity here now maybe for Fesser to get one in there, but it's still, Dustin, those two reds out front are going to make it pretty hard for Fesser to score more than one here, I think.
Yeah, and it's tough because if you even tried maybe an intern come around, it's tough because the runs are so short too.
So Krista coming down to take a look here, and
My first thought was
what would you play here, John, if you were throwing right now?
well, it wouldn't be me throwing it. I never played third in my life, but no, I think, to me, it's not a great scoring situation for two.
Right.
So I do sort of like Krista's instinct here to get rid of that one on the center.
Right.
You can't give up a steal here. So that would be my lean. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree, and I think right now that's kind of the most dangerous rock, kind of guarding the front, because it's kind of blocking off a little bit of that side, and if you can always still come in with the out turn here and with that much curl and still get to the middle. So definitely think you need to clean up that front key zone area.
Well, yeah, and the problem is, even if you make the draw or you make the hit and roll really good, if Mackenzie Zacharias makes that run back, they're dead buried right behind their own. So, So yeah, I think this is the call. That seems to be what they've agreed on. I think, Dustin, they were trying to line up where they would maybe get rid of the one just beside the 4-foot there as well.
Right.
So,
and yeah, it maybe creates a potential for the blank to still be in play if this is made.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, if you're Fesser, you'd love to blank here. Get the hammer in 6.
Can't hear you. Great.
So big shot here for Krista. She's already made one really good one. We'll see if she can follow it up here with a little double and roll. just maybe a little over sweeping there. Went right through the hole. So it continues to be Zacharias lying 2 without hammer.
Oh, great throw. I'm sorry. I thought to the line that was over.
So did I.
Yeah. It was close. A couple inches more and you make it perfect. Okay.
So now if you're Zacharias, probably just want to kind of bite 4-foot kind of line in the 8-foot around the off-center guard kind of right now. Probably on that CA of Canada, hey? Be a good spot, maybe a little bit deeper.
Yeah, just biting the 4-foot right there would be perfect. So first stone here for Mackenzie Zacharias in the 5th. Looking to lie 3.
Hey, top button. Line's great.
Line looks really good.
Just topping.
Bunch of late finish here. Ice has been curling a lot.
Gotta really curl.
So didn't quite curl as much as they were hoping for, but that's probably more a consequence of it being a little light than anything else.
Right.
But in a pretty good spot, absolutely. If you're Fesser, though, now, you might be able to make a hit and roll and just kind of get it in behind that stagger.
15
Or you could try the double again.
So I think the ice would have been good. They just pounded it all the way, hey?
Yeah. I even think it would have like got tough there.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way you drop down.
So it will be the same shot here for Courtney Fesser. Just going to try and make the double and roll.
Yeah, it is.
This looks close.
Just over curls a little bit on Courtney, so Zacharias will have the chance to
Good rush.
hit and lie 3.
I like this turn. Do you think it's going to go over the center a bit more?
It might, but like I think it's gonna run till we get there.
Okay. 10? No, you're off. Just roll it back to the center line, I think, because then it kind of takes away this draw.
So one of those ends where Fesser just not really able to get anything going with hammer, and Mackenzie Zacharias will have a chance to return the favor after she had to make a draw against 3. We might see Courtney have to do the same thing here.
A little tight.
Yeah, if this is hit right on the nose, there'll be a tough, very tough draw path in there.
Hard!
Right to it.
Hard!
And right on the nose it is, so wouldn't be too surprised to see Courtney hit here. She hasn't really drawn all that much, but it does look like she's indicating that she might draw. I mean, the one thing she has going for her here is none of those rocks are all that close to the 4-foot.
No.
So even if you get to just the top 8, you out count 2 of them. So I don't mind the draw call. Just last time we saw Courtney draw, she threw it through the house. So
Interesting. Okay, let's try it. You right there? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's tighter than they've been. Do you like what I gave you for
key here, I think, is you just have to miss that front one.
Right.
You got to get through that hole. If you hit the one that's in the top 12, you're giving up 3. So they won't have the same advantage Mackenzie had last end. So
For sure, super precise draw coming here from Courtney.
So final stone facing 3, Courtney Fesser needs a piece of the forefoot.
Sweepers are on it early.
To keep this
Might be
game
a little
close.
bit light.
Yeah. Can't be short here, that's for sure. Cannot be short here. And unfortunately, it is. So it's a huge steal of 3 for Mackenzie Zacharias. And they will take a commanding 6-1 lead into the 6th. We'll be back with that right after this.
Simple, but our methods are far from it. Canadian dairy farmers proudly meet some of the most stringent standards in the world, including the 42 food safety requirements set by our national quality program. We do it by working hard and by ensuring that every cow is monitored every day so that we can bring you high quality milk. High Canadian standards. That's dairy farming forward.
Welcome back, everybody, to continuing coverage of the SGI Best of the West. John Cullen alongside Dustin McCush back here for the 6th end, and it was unfortunately Courtney Fesser just coming a little bit light on her draw against 3 in the 5th and gives up all 3. And Dustin, I indicated to you before she threw that shot that she maybe hadn't been super confident with her draw weight today, and we sort of saw that there.
Yeah, and I think also a combination of maybe just maybe a fresh path. They haven't played a ton of draws out there maybe for a couple ends, and have been doing quite a bit of hitting this end. So, and early in the event was just a bit of a guess, and yeah, unfortunate miss there on the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially we've seen earlier in the game, and I know you weren't here with me. You've been organizing this event and been running around all morning. But earlier in the game too, we did see some paths were a little bit slower, particularly when it was getting outside of where the forefoot lines might be. Getting out into those wings, it was certainly a little slower. And coming across center is a path we also don't tend to wear down in a game. So I think you're right. We might have seen that a little bit there, where it was just sort of a path we hadn't really seen played, and unfortunately just came up a little light. And like I said, her last draw before that, she had gone through the house. So also maybe that's in her mind a little bit too, that she doesn't want to throw it too heavy. And unfortunately, we see the result, and it's now a commanding lead for the 13th ranked team in the world, Mackenzie Zacharias.
For sure, and full credit to Team Zacharias. Their rock placement that end was spot on, and they put rocks in really good positions, and it wasn't an easy draw. So yeah, tough one there, but still have 3 ends to go here, and again early in the event here, so anything can kind of happen, and a 2 or 3 would go a long way to getting right back in this game here in the 6th.
That was good. That sounded like coaching. That was like coaching wise. It was just like, we'll get 2 or 3, see if we can get back in the game. Might be a future for you in this game yet, kid.
Yeah, thank you.
Carly, only Carly. Still got a curl. Yep, get it to curl. Yep. Good.
Yeah, I think I still like it. T-line.
So we got a double corner guard up for Team Saskatchewan, which is pretty much what you need to do.
Yeah, good guard placement there for sure, and seen lots of curl to the wings, so Team Fesser will be able to use both of those guards to come behind and hopefully generate a multiple here.
Can also update you on other action around the Nutana Curling Club this morning, as this is the opening draw for all of these ladies teams. Over on sheet 1, it's Kayla McMillan, Team BC2 is up 3-1 on Kayla Skurlik, Team Alberta 2. Over on sheet 2, a bit of a barn burner between Manitoba 2, Beth Peterson, and Saskatchewan 2, which is, geez, I can't even remember. Who's Saskatchewan 2?
Sorry, Saskatchewan 2 is Lorraine Schneider.
Schneider, that's it. Jeez, yes. Don't have all my notes directly in front of me. There we go. Yeah. So that's a 4-2 game. Peterson is up 4-2 there without Hammer. Beside them, it's been all BC 1 beating Marla Scherer 6-0 currently. No, I got it backwards. That's Skurlik, yeah. Skurlik is against Brown, and then Scherer's over on sheet 1 losing to McMillan. So it's a good morning for BC over Alberta, and then beside them we've got the women's doubles. Kelsey Rock and Danielle Schmiemann facing off against Taylor Reese-Hansen and Sierra Fisher, and it's Rock and Schmiemann who are out to an 8-2 lead. So I think that one might be over in short order.
Yeah, for sure, and it's really, really interesting and exciting. We have doubles matches going on, and I'm not sure, John, if you've talked a bunch about the doubles happening on the other sheet, but kind of an interesting, they have different rock orders and numbers that they're throwing, so players are throwing 3 rocks each, specifically 1, 2, and 5, or 3, 4, and 6, so this will be likely the first time a 6-rock doubles game has been thrown, probably in the world here. So
wow,
pretty exciting stuff happening here this morning in Saskatoon for doubles curling and just the sport of curling in general.
Beautiful. Love that. Equal opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what happened was so there's a sign at the back of the rink for Point Optical, longtime sponsor of curling in the Saskatoon community. And it says, if you can't read this sign, come see Gary. I can read that sign, no problem, but I was having a lot of trouble reading the team signs on the scoreboard. Well, so I might have to go see Gary no matter what.
In between games, we know where you're going.
I might need to get over to Point Optical.
Absolutely.
See if Gary can help me out. Jeez. I'll tell you, from this distance, 2s look a lot like 1s.
Yes.
I don't know if that's for you too or just me, but
some of the 1s are playing a 1 too, so
okay.
It could be there too.
Could also just be that I'm an idiot.
I don't think so. Never.
That's also a factor.
No, absolutely not.
So back to our feature game here, and it's still Zacharias lying 2 without Hammer and up 5 as Saskatchewan 1 and Courtney Fesser trying to get themselves back in the game here.
Couple rocks in play out front there. I believe Yellow's sitting 3rd shot, so might have to kind of just be using this one as a guard for now, but still a chance to set up a potential 2 or 3 here.
So chance here for Krista to come around everything.
Going hard to get this by. This one looks like it's curling.
Yeah, called the line wrong. Good. Yeah.
Courtney's a pretty honest player out there. She makes it so that I don't really have to say much.
No, she tells it exactly how it is. It's what you need.
Yeah. So yeah, as Courtney said, she messed up the line call there, so.
Yeah, and I think we found yesterday in practice it curls quite a bit to the wing, just like the middle, so even just potentially still a spot in the ice that they're learning how much it curls.
Yeah, we certainly have seen this morning as well, Dustin. No question that it has curled a lot to the wings, and even on hits it's been curling, which has been causing a little bit of issue for the teams.
Yeah, the ice has been absolutely excellent. Lawrence Kutrin and his team here in Newtown have done a great job, and there's been a ton of curl, and the speed's been awesome too. So we're in for some really good curling here this weekend with the excellent ice conditions that we have.
So it's Zacharias lying 3 and up 5. Not an ideal situation to be in if you're Saskatchewan, but chance here again for Krista Fesser if she can make a hit and roll behind these corner guards, get something going.
Yeah, their throwing must be like a 9 or 10 or maybe minty fresh or something like that, or salt and vinegar, but quite a bit of ice taken for just a hit and stick here. And I may have just
you cursed it
and
yeah.
Cursed it. That's how I hear. That's how it goes in commentating.
It does sometimes, yeah. I've done my fair share of cursing.
I don't want to hit her.
Both to the teams and swearing.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I can dial it back. I click into the side of my teacher brain where I just don't swear.
Me too.
And it works out okay. Yeah, exactly. You're a teacher as well,
right.
so this is
I think it goes over.
just get us a chalkboard here, put us on the screen, and we'll be ready to go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like I think we're just gonna.
Yeah, I think Mackenzie's lining up a potential double here.
Yeah, one of those situations where you're playing the scoreboard here, right, Dustin?
And they let us onto their weight call that it's a 9, so no fancy fun weight call names, but rocks are pretty lively here. They should go pretty easily, so should be able to get both of these going.
you think it's a little black? Can I have a hair less?
I like it.
Yeah. Half's fine, I think, too.
So first stone here for Mackenzie Zacharias. As we said, she's up 5 and cruising, just looking to get rid of this yellow stone that's counting third shot at the moment.
Close.
No.
Curl.
Nice shot from Mackenzie, makes both those go away.
Yeah, no mistake made there, and so it's going to be tough sledding for Courtney to get more than one here.
Like, this has to be dead perfect for her not to blast. I like that.
Yeah, I agree with the Fessers here. Just come right around here, back 8. Be great if you can stay for shot, but maybe potentially set up a deuce and use that top 8 rock kind of like a guard here.
Yeah, as we said, it's been a great year for Team Zacharias this season. Obviously winning the Manitoba Scotties, beating Christy Watling in the final, and we're seeing why they are one of the top young teams in the game here today with this 5-point lead, and why the queen herself, Jennifer Jones, wants to play with them next year. They've been full value for this lead this morning.
For sure, a lot of shot made here. Shots made this game, and really early in the event too. So they had one 30-minute practice yesterday evening, but they've been able to catch on to the ice here quick and make a lot of shots here.
Gotta be back 8. Gotta be back 8.
This looks like it's got to curl a long ways. So just a little heavy from Courtney there. Never really quite catches the curl. And so, again, for Mackenzie, just make this go away. Ideally, you stick, though, Dustin, I guess. Force Courtney into taking one.
For sure.
Of course, we'll have every draw of the Best of the West here for you on Curling Canada and Curling Zone's YouTube pages. Our next game coming up at 12:30 local time. Braden Calvert against Karsten Sturmey.
Yeah, that's sure to be a good match.
Should be a good one.
As all of the games are going to be this weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. So final stone for Mackenzie Zacharias.
Yeah. Whoa, clean, whoa, whoa.
Clean it. Clean it.
And she makes no mistake. So Courtney's just debating whether they try the blank here. I don't know. First of all, I don't know if it's there. Second of all, I don't know how much it helps you even if you make it.
Right.
You got to make up 5 points in 2 ends.
Yeah, probably best bet is to take one and hope for a couple big steals in the coming ends. Looks like she's just maybe playing the hit and stay here for one. I think she can nose this and be able to take her single.
So final stone here for Courtney Fesser. Down 5 and looking to put one more point on the board at least.
Looks curling quite a bit.
Yeah, will it stick around? It rolls just a little too far, so that's another steal for Mackenzie Zacharias. So she will take a 7-1 lead into the 7th. Fesser will have the hammer when we come back.
Our roots might be simple, but our methods are far from it. Canadian dairy farmers proudly meet some of the most stringent standards in the world, including the 42 food safety requirements set by our national quality program. We do it by working hard and by ensuring that every cow is monitored every day so that we can bring you high quality milk. High Canadian standards. That's dairy farming forward.
So a look at the scoreboard there. It's been all one-way traffic. Mackenzie Zacharias with a commanding 7-1 lead over Saskatchewan 1. Courtney Fesser, John Cullen alongside Dustin McCush here from the SGI Canada Best of the West, live from the Nutana Curling Club here in Saskatoon. And well, Dustin, it looked like Courtney was maybe trying to switch up the game plan after the draw didn't work out in 6, but unfortunately the hit for her doesn't work out, in 5, and then the hit also doesn't work out for her in 6. It's just kind of been that sort of morning for her and her team.
Yeah, a couple overcurls both on that draw and that hit there, and as mentioned earlier, the ice is curling a lot, and I think that's kind of been a bit of the tendency this morning here is just a few more overcurls, and I think it's just due to the great curly ice that we have here this morning.
You either sweep them end to end or don't touch them.
But Team Fesser here has hammer again, and we'll look to use the 5-rock rule and hopefully generate a big end.
Yeah, they're going to need it, that's for sure. And it's always tough when you're playing a team like Zacharias who can hit so well. Emily at the second position and Carly Burgess, a long-time second herself, and now been third with this team for a few years. They're just so good at hitting that it's so tough when you're in this position against them to really generate a big score.
For sure, yeah. Excellent hitters from Manitoba. Yeah, it will be tough. Will be tough comeback, but some well-positioned stones here maybe can generate a 3 and see what can happen.
Okay, I like this call. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. I think they're trying to hit this yellow into the red on the button to keep it in play and take out their own red.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay,
we'll
Mackenzie
see.
Zacharias maybe debuting a little new strategy here at the Best of the West.
I love it.
I like this.
Sorry,
Well,
just left ice. Good throw. That's fine.
Well, we won't see how that pans out because Lauren Lenentine missed the rock completely, but Mackenzie blaming herself for that one. So
yeah, that's an interesting call for sure. Never hurts to try some new things and see what works, and I think that's the wonderful thing about our sport is that we're able to try new things and see what you can do.
yeah, I think we'll probably see some of that kind of experimentation from a lot of teams this weekend, just to sort of end of the year kind of thing. See, maybe this is a strategy we bring into next year, and you know, I think we know a lot of these teams are not going to be the same next season as well, so maybe a little bit less pressure, and you try a few new things, and that's certainly one of them there. I like that.
For sure.
Line's really good. Nice, Kaylin.
Try it again or toss it through.
Look like they might try it again. Oh, going for the freeze.
Boo. Show us the new strategy.
Yeah. I'd love to see it made. That would be...
Me too. That'd be sick.
Must have been talked about in advance, though, that would be the game plan if they were in this situation, though.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that's the level of detail, right, that you expect from these top teams, where they don't come to this event and say, well, it's our last tournament of the year, who cares, whatever, you know, where they actually say, like, hey, let's try some new stuff this weekend. It's very, very cool.
For sure. And a lot of money on the line at the end of the weekend, and
Absolutely.
even just the title of being called the best in the West, or best of the West. So, that's definitely all the teams here taking it super seriously, and because there is a lot on the line here this weekend, even though it's the last event of the curling season.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, I tweeted that last week, but it's true too. The end of the year events, you actually usually see teams go really hard because that money usually just goes right in your pocket at the end of the season. You don't have any expenses left. You kind of go, okay, this is what we're going to divide up at the end of the year. So for the team that wins the $10,000 prize, a chance to maybe take home a good chunk of that is certainly a motivating factor. No question about that. And then, like you say, obviously a lot of pride on the line with all these Western teams being here and wanting to be the first ever champion. That's also, things that teams really relish. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome curling all weekend for sure. Nice shot there from Carly Korchinski coming around all those guards. And so now we'll see Zacharias get down to business with some peels. So we heard a little uh-oh from Lauren Lenentine on the mic, but ended up not being too bad. It actually over-curled, and I think the key there was they missed their own reds in the house. That
was key.
Yeah. That would have been the bad situation. Where that red is now, probably not going to come into play. Not a huge issue, but certainly if they had hit their own reds in the house, that would not have been good.
So what would you do if you were here? Would you come around here again, or throw up another guard, or do the tap freeze pocket?
I don't mind. I don't mind coming to the middle and tapping a little. I think it's just, again, with how well Zacharias hits, you could throw up one more guard, maybe delay the end by one more stone, but you kind of need to score 3 here. So what's your most likely path to scoring 3 is probably bringing the play to the middle at this point.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even maybe coming all the way around back 12.
Yep.
The out turn might be another.
Not bad either, for sure. Yeah.
Another route. This is kind of a similar setup to what we had in the SaskTel Tankard men's provincials in February that we came around, and we were able to generate a 4 this way. So that might be another option. Looks like they're coming to the middle, though.
So it's still Zacharias lying 2 and up 6.
Yeah, you can also play it this way.
That's even double. I don't
looking for a double here.
And we have a couple finals here. We have Team Alberta women's doubles, Kelsey Rock and Danielle Schmeeman with a 8-2 victory over Team British Columbia and Sierra Fisher and Taylor Reese-Hansen. And second final, Team BC won women's, Corinne Brown and her team with a victory over Team Alberta's Kayla Skrillick.
So they don't quite get the double, and they actually kind of group their rocks into not a bad spot here for Fesser.
Just tap it a foot. Sit right there. Yeah, okay. What? Okay.
So similar shot here for Krista Fesser to the one that Carly Korchinski just threw. Just looking to come down and tap that top red and create a little pocket. Very nice shot. Whoa, look at that little commentator synergy right there.
It's the teacher synergy, I think, John.
That is true. You're right.
It's really flat. You can try.
Yeah, we just always want to be encouraging, you know?
Absolutely. Have to be.
What if we just know? Make sure we gotta find that.
Once we start pulling out the compliment sandwich, then we'll really know that we've we really know that we've made it.
Yep, that's right.
So another opportunity here for Carly Burgess to get the double. This one is quite flat. So she's going to have to throw that all dressed weight here.
Yep.
Looked like she got that out a little bit.
Sweeping for
This
some
needs
curl
to curl.
here.
This is going to completely miss it. Well,
here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it just looked like she maybe in putting that extra weight on had a little bit of an extension and just looked like maybe she extended that onto the turn as well, pushed it out a little bit. So opportunity now maybe here for Fesser. I mean, they're down 6, but if they could get 3 or 4 back here, that would be big for them.
For sure.
Hard to get there.
As we say, anything can happen.
Anything can happen in this sport. Usually for me it was losing, but theoretically anything can happen, yeah.
That's really flat. The double's flat? Yeah.
Would you just come maybe around again? Come around.
I don't know who's second, so that's why it'd be nice just to tap it an inch.
Yeah, so there you go. If you don't know if you're second shot, then I do think you kind of have to come at that red one, don't you?
Maybe.
Maybe you don't
There is
have
a couple rocks left. Could maybe just ignore it and come right around. Although if they hit and roll open on that center line yellow, then it might make for a difficult double. So.
Like, I like the freeze. I know, I just like the freeze because then there's no like simple double. Like right now the red text.
So we can see there again, they're taking advantage of our TV screen in the middle here.
Yeah.
I think we can get there. You just have to.
Taking a look at it.
And Mackenzie and Lauren are taking advantage of the bumper pads at the other end.
Yeah, I wish I had one of those bumper pads up here, just be chilling out.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So either draw open side or play the freeze.
Our nice Sask Milk bumpers, our presenting sponsor of the
There we go.
SGI Canada Best of the West.
I think it's because then there is
I love getting to do events in Saskatchewan because I always feel like when I leave after the event's over, I know a lot more about farming.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
it's critical
yeah.
to Saskatchewan for sure.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to learn more about Sask Milk as the weekend goes on.
For sure, we have a couple Sask Milk people out here all weekend, and yeah, stop on by. There's a Sask Milk booth along with an SGI Canada booth as well, and I'm happy to have both our title and presenting sponsor here and supporting the best of the West and U30 curling in Western Canada.
So it looks like they've decided to come to the back one here. It sounded like the talk, Dustin, was that they didn't actually consider your idea of coming around that one in the middle, that they were only really ever considering coming to this red one or drawing open side. I don't really like drawing open side. I think this is a better call than that.
Yeah, this is a tough draw path to tap.
Exactly. This is over curling. And that was their concern. They didn't. Well, they now at least they know their second shot. But yeah,
an unfortunate miss there by Krista, and yeah, that was a tough. I think that was a tough shot, John. Hey,
very tough, and that's what they were talking about. That was actually really their initial pause for concern, was that they weren't even sure that they could make it because of how much it curls there and the weight that they would need to throw to kind of tap it. Obviously, you could make it with a hit or whatever in lie 3, but to make the sort of draw tap they were thinking with where those corner guards are, I'm not sure that the path was even there. And obviously, their concerns were warranted since they didn't make the shot. So chance now for Mackenzie Zacharias to make this double. As we heard, the Fesser sisters said, it's very flat, and you can get a good look at it there. It's not easy, but it is makeable, that's for sure. At least makeable enough you push the yellow out in lie 2, even if you don't get it fully out of the house. Won't quite get there, so now Fesser will have a bit easier of a path getting to that back one.
And just a couple score updates. We still have 3 games going on sheet 1. We have Team Alberta and Marla Scher playing right now against Kayla McMillan, with Kayla McMillan having a 4-2 lead. On sheet 2, we have Team Peterson, I believe.
Yep. Against Lorraine Schneider.
On sheet 3, and Team Peterson has a 4-2 lead. And on sheet 2, we have a doubles game with Maddie Kleider and Shaylin Kitts playing against Tober and Felius. And right now, Team Saskatchewan has a 5-2-4 lead after the 5th end.
Do you think it spins right back?
I think it's down.
Let's try to pop it.
I think right now our doubles games are running a little bit slower, even with less rocks, but maybe just a little bit of learning the game and how to play, and what maybe the strategy is it's new for everyone there. Looks like there's been a ton of rocks in play every single end, which is awesome. Makes it exciting for the fans.
Yeah, I'm still from.
Oh yeah.
Because this is so strange.
Then I like 9.
So Courtney Fesser coming a little bit light on her first one, and so again an opportunity here for Mackenzie Zacharias to kill the threat.
The double, I think, was
Unfortunately for Fesser, 2 won't probably be enough here. They need to get at least 3 this end. So if Mackenzie can even get rid of one of these, I think it's probably game over, even if Fesser makes her draw for 2. Zacharias on it right away, and it just over curls a little bit, so chance for Courtney Fesser here to get 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I was remember the first.
As we said, we'll be back at 12:30 local time. Braden Calvert against Karsten Sturmay. Should be a great tilt between Alberta and Manitoba teams.
It's an inch more.
Yeah, 2 teams that have had lots of success at the junior level at the Canadian juniors, and looking to have some more success this weekend here at the Best of the West.
So final stone, Courtney Fesser needs a hit and stick for 2.
Girls are cleaning. It looks awesome.
And she will make no mistake. So it is a score of 2 for Saskatchewan, but that is an exchange of gratitude here. A fantastic game for Mackenzie Zacharias and Manitoba won. They will put a win on the board with a 7-3 victory. For Dustin McCush, I'm John Cullen. We'll see you back here in a couple hours. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.